Hello everybody, here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Kirby 64. In the previous episode, we conquered Neostar, which was actually a pretty fun world. It had a few challenges here and there, but we are getting into the late game of Kirby 64, so there's bound to be a challenge here and there. And speaking of challenges, guess what? I'm an idiot. I recorded these levels, and it was going mostly well, but then I rage quitted during this one. And then I realized I just had a restore point in the middle of this level, which means I gotta re-record these, and now there's no way I can hide the fact that there was a failed recording. So let's continue onward with our merry way through our path of glory. We start off with the double-edged lightsaber. But we need to get rid of it because the... Never mind. Alright, let's back up a little bit so that we can have some of those enemies respawn, because we are going to need some kind of burning ability for one of the crystal shards in this level. Now, unfortunately, because there was a failed recording, I can't demonstrate the crystal shards on screen, but I will point them out when we get to the point where they would normally appear. So, yeah, that was kind of like a disaster and a half. That's kind of the running trend with this Let's Play that I'm starting to notice. So, Kirby 64 is a much more difficult game than I remember it being, because, like, I remember when I was, like, planning out this Let's Play, my mindset was, this is going to be a simple project. It's a Kirby game. It's not going to be all that difficult or anything like that. It's going to be a relatively simple project to work on. It's going to be awesome. Nope! Yeah, this has been way more complicated than I initially thought it would be. It's not nearly to the same degree as, like, something like Breath of the Wild or something like that, but this hasn't exactly been all smooth butter, if you will. There's some kind of Kirby pun around there. Well, I guess there's a builder building in Kirby's Adventure, so I guess that does kind of work. Alright, continuing onwards over here, we're going into one of the more fun parts of this level. Yay, we get to go snowboarding! Yay! And I've always wanted to go like snowboarding or sledding or things like that. I've always wanted to go like to like a ski resort. I just never really had the opportunity to do so, because when I did live in a cold environment, it was in like the one town in the entire state where like it rarely snowed. So someday I'll be able to go to a ski resort. It actually makes me think of that one bumper from the Running Guys Coliseum where Steven Plays was a short on Mario Maker video, so he asked Tom Fox to make it. That right there, that's where the first crystal shards are going to be located. He asked Tom Fox to make it, but he ended up making a ski video instead, and he was like, I took a few liberties! That was quite humorous. But anyway, now we're going over this way, and now that we've crashed, now we can go over here. So, this is where the next crystal shard is going to be located at. Now, what we want to do is we're going to continuously burn this jerk. Yay, burning! And up here, if we have a fire ability, we'll be able to burn through the crystal ceiling over there and get the next crystal shard. It's totally a crystal shard. What are you talking about? It's not like a blue star thingy. What are you talking about? That's how it always looked. It's just that the game has been glitching the rest of the time. That is totally a truth fact. I don't know what happened right there, but now we go over here, and I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to get the game over, because I got a lot of game overs during the film recording, and that was not a very pleasant experience. Getting game overs, I gotta say, it's not one of my favorite pastimes. I'm sorry, but it's just not. I like being alive. Ah! Get away from me! Down there is where the next crystal shard is going to be located at, so we need to go onwards. We need to have a soul about this, because otherwise we'll be turning red. And Luca. So then we're back over this direction. What we want to do is we want to be under the water, and then we'll continue onwards and head over this way. So on the topic of Pixar movies, something fun that happened last night was that my family and I, we watched Turning Red together, and that was such a cute movie. Like, there were definitely a few moments here and there where it's like, oh, that's kind of shocking to see in a Pixar movie. But yeah, it's like one of those things where kids probably aren't going to understand the reference, but like, because I'm an adult, like, I know what it is, and it's like, oh, that's kind of shocking. But it was actually a pretty good movie. I really liked the, like, overall story in it, because, like, the thing about Pixar movies is that for the longest time, they kind of had, like, nothing but sequels and prequels and things for a little while. And while they could be fun and all, their more original movies are like definitely better. So it's very nice to see Pixar focusing on more original stories recently. I haven't seen Onward or Luca yet, or The Incredibles 2, but Soul was like honestly one of my favorite Pixar movies ever, and Turning Red might also turn into one of those at some point. Right now it's probably within my top 10, but I don't know if that's just that the movie was actually just that good, or if it's that feeling you get when you watch a new movie that's super awesome and you're like, this is one of the best movies ever! But then you will watch it again a little bit later down the road and you're like, oh, it was still a good movie, but I was probably just super excited about it when I first saw it. That's how I thought I would feel about Avengers Infinity War, but then like I kept watching it and it's still one of my favorite movies ever. So let's head over this way now. Destroy you and collect the cake, because the cake is not alive. Owie! That hurts my feelings. Why would you do that? I told you that you looked amazing. I complimented your hair, even though you don't have hair. Alright, I desperately need a 1-up. Yay, we got it! We got it going on. And now moving on to the next level. This one is a pretty interesting one indeed. As soon as I finish spoiling my notes for it, because I didn't have that prepared, because I'm a big dummy-head. So, the next area, we're going to need a needle spark for one of the crystal shards in this area, but it's not going to be for a little while, and thankfully, unlike some other levels, both abilities can be found in this level, so that's going to be pretty useful. So let's head over this way, and continue onwards, and do stuff that is super epic and amazing. So continuing my tangent a little bit earlier on this video about this game turning out to be a little bit more complicated to record than I initially thought it would be, that's kind of making me wonder if that's going to be the case for other Kirby games going forward, because I don't know when the next Kirby Let's Play would be, but I have a few ideas. Also, that character over there, that character on the broomstick, we see you in the background for like every level in this world, and I don't know your name. I don't know if you were like a character in the previous worlds as well, and we just haven't noticed you yet, but you're in the background for every level in this world, and it's kind of interesting. So there might be a caption on screen at some point describing more in detail on who that character is. But that's right now, back to my tangent. So that's making me wonder if other Kirby games are going to be like that on the channel, because that's kind of what I'm realizing lately about Kirby games in general. Because I don't really 100% a whole lot of Kirby games. Like, honestly, this Let's Play is kind of the first time that I'm 100%ing this game, honestly. So like Kirby Triple Deluxe, for example, I really like that game, but I also didn't go 100% for that one. So if I were to make videos on that one, hypothetically someday, is that going to be the same case for that one? Because that game also can have a lot of complicated 100% completion rewards. So this right here you want to be careful with, because it kind of seems like randomly what's this thing called again? It is a Jelly Bob. Your name is a Z-Button. So it kind of seems like there's an occasional button delay with the Z-Buttons. I don't know if that's a problem with the Virtual Console version of this game, but it's something that does happen from time to time, and it definitely happened on the failed recording, and that was not a very pleasant experience at all. Alright, so we're going to throw away our ability over there, because one of the first abilities we'll need for a Crystal Shard is going to be coming up pretty soon. So we're going to get a sandwich, and then we're going to go over here, and we're going to eat your beautiful face, because this is Five Nights at Freddy's, I decided. Can you imagine what it would be like if they made a Kirby horror game? Like, that's just something I was randomly thinking of, because I just thought of Five Nights at Freddy's, and then I thought about Kirby. I was like, can you imagine what that would be like? Well, Kirby does kind of have a history of random, spontaneous, creepy moments in the games, so if they had like a full-fledged game like that, that'd kind of be interesting. It's a terrible idea, because like, Kirby's meant to be cute and stuff like that, but you can't help but wonder. So the first ability that we got was Needle, and this gave me a lot of trouble on the field recording, because of the Spark ability, like the one enemy in this world, in this level, that has a Spark ability, is kind of in a jerkish enemy placement, so we want to be careful when we get over there. Now, thankfully, as we continue across over here, we are able to come back to this area if we lose our needle ability. So it's not like you have to replay through the entire level if you mess this up. But just definitely be careful. And also be careful because this area over here has really annoying enemy placement. Because we have those blue spark enemy guys, but then as we go over here, it's not this pit, but that pit right there, the one with the blue spike guy. I can't remember Kirby enemies for the life of me, don't judge me. You want to watch out for those because they will appear out of nowhere if you're not paying attention, so you want to be careful of that. Coming up next is going to be the enemy we'll need for the super amazing powers of epicness. And you fell off the... grumble, grumble. Thankfully, these enemies respawn pretty quickly. And you immediately jumped off the platform again! Come on, let me live long enough so I can kill you! Alright, fine. We'll backtrack just a little bit more. How's that, game? How is that? We will backtrack just a little bit more so that you will spawn closer to the center of the platform so you won't immediately be destroyed. Okay, you're gonna do that. Yay! Okay, okay. Okay, we got this. We got this. We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it. We still got it. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can have the Cinderella. I've been watching a lot of like the older Disney movies recently. I watched Snow White and Sleeping Beauty the other day, and it's really fun going back and watching those because like it's kind of amazing because we really do live in a great era of movie watching because like you can with me. Because whenever you think back on those movies, you gotta remember that if you missed those movies in the theater, you didn't really have another chance to watch them for like another 10 years at least. This right here is where the last Crystal Shard would be. So like that's kind of a big reason why they had the whole Disney Vault thing. I don't know for the 1-up or the tomato. What? Microphone. What's going on? Where's my now? Why my computer fall asleep? Why my computer fall asleep?
2 hours later.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I'm really happy we got the tomato during that. But I don't know what happened there, but my computer was kind of freaking out for a moment, and I don't know what was going on. But, yeah. That's basically the end of that tangent, and also we needed the needle spark to be able to destroy the one block near the mid-boss and things like that. But now we're moving on to the final area, and I'm kind of standing still because I wanted to look over my notes to see if we need specific ability, but it doesn't look like it's, that was a waste of time. And also you may hear a lawnmower in the background because I'm recording this. I'm recording this while hiccuping. That is a great sign for this video. No, I'm recording this to kind of like early in the morning because I was trying to record it last night, but then that didn't work out. So yeah, now I'm trying to do this in the morning. So I may have to record a couple of these segments during post-commentary, but I'm going to continue in live commentary with the mindset that nothing is wrong, and everything is fine and Dory. Like Finding Dory. It's kind of an underrated movie. I like that one. So up here is going to be our first crystal shard, so let's collect that, and then we'll continue onwards. Now I will say, I'm pretty happy that we kind of got our life counter back to normal, because it was kind of a pain during the field recording losing so many lives in this one really dumb area. We're not going to see it in this video, but we'll see it in the next episode, and it's going to be super fun and super amazing. It's going to be triumphant, and joyful, and amazing. But as we continue this area, you may notice that something seems different about this place. Everything seems a bit more mechanical and kind of dead. Yeah, everything kind of seems a bit more mechanical in this world, like it was created, not organic and things like that. So, that might be something we want to keep an eye out for. We can see an elevator over here, and we definitely saw the outside of this building, but it wasn't like anything we've seen before, like King Dedede's castle or anything like that. And those stupid frogs always eat me. Okay, one thing I want to know is, are the eyeballs of those frogs modeled, or are they 2D sprites? Because during this era of gaming and things like that, creating a perfect circle was kind of difficult for 3D models. Like, it's kind of amazing that Kirby was able to be made at all, but most circular objects in video games were just 2D sprites, so it always fixes the camera. So they'd appear 3D and things like that. The same trick can be seen like Mario 64, how they handle trees in that game. But, like, kind of makes me wonder if they made those 3D models and things like that, or if they're just 2D sprites. So continue over here. I believe we'll be facing the mid-boss pretty soon. Yes, we are. Cool. I kind of wish we had a better ability in this area, like freeze or something, but that's not how the thing worked out. But we have a giant spider to deal with over here. It's Tomb Raider Underworld all over again. So let's continue with this. Eventually you'll be destroyed, probably. Come on, be destroyed, be destroyed. Yay! And now we can get the final crystal shard. That's not the final one, that's the second one. This is the final one over here. So, this puzzle right here, remember the pattern here. So, it looks like we got some kind of berry thing, what looks like a melon, and, no, that's a cantaloupe, and grapes, or cherries. That might be cherries. So remember that pattern. So the first one is going to be this. And then the next one's going to be the cantaloupe. Press down on the D-pad to activate the buttons, and I believe the last one was grapes. There we go! Yay! Alright, so the solution to that puzzle is going to be random every time, but the same basic rule applies, that the shape, the drawings are going to correspond with the color, so that's basically something you want to keep in mind. And as we go across this area, that was really bad enemy placement right there, because I had one guy throwing the spear, and then you had the one flower dude. I gotta say, this game kind of doesn't have the best game level design in the world sometimes. So, yeah, that is something that's a little bit unfortunate about this game that I'm kind of starting to realize as I continue playing this game. But that over there looked like a kind of like a flower department area, and now we're going through an area that looks like it's made of furniture. Watch out for these falling bookcases, because they will tumble onto your face. And now we have an aquarium. So it's kind of like this area, it's kind of like whatever this area was. At least it used to be like some kind of shopping complex. So what could this place have been? Might have been a department store, might have been a mall, might have been Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Megaplex. That's what it is. That's what it officially was. Five Nights at Freddy's and Kirby took place in the same universe. That is decided. That is a truth fact. It is canon. It is a theory. Get it? Because the name of the collab channel is Game. This right here, this is a very interesting room to talk about, because the TVs in the background have what is speculated to be an unused sound effect. It can still be found in the game's sound test, where, we'll have it on screen now, but there is an unused sound test of a sped-up version of a reading of a Japanese poem, Iroha, which was theorized to have been originally located in this room that play on the TVs. So, that's a fun little detail. We probably will be going over the sound test a little bit more in this game later in the series. I don't really have a whole lot to talk about it though, so that might not happen. But I do have at least one bonus video planned, so it might be discussed at that point if I remember. Watch out for those cannonballs, and we're over here, we're gonna get a cake! Yay! We got a cake, and it's super amazing! I like cake. Cake is yummy. It's probably like the most consistent we've ever been able to get the of awards at the end of the level. But that's going to be it for this episode of Kirby 64. In the next episode, we'll be taking care of the last of this world, which, speaking of which, let's talk about this for a second. This area right here, we can already see that kind of looks like a factory, and this one is like a department store. And if we go back onto the world map, if we look at the other planets, they all are coming different shapes and sizes. Popstar looks like a star, this one looks like a crumbled up Oreo cookie, and so on and so forth. But this one is a perfect circle. It's a perfect circle with something orbiting it. And if you look at the lighter shades on this planet's surface, we could see very familiar looking continents. We'll talk about that in the next episode. But as for right now, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Kirby 64, and next time, later to you. Oh yeah.